So we're going to be discussing how to solve two-step equations. And I have this little paper here that I definitely suggest that you write in your notes. You can see that we have the PEMDAS, where P is going to be any grouping symbol, where we have parentheses and brackets that I know that you're aware of. But in 8th grade, we also talk about absolute value bars and big fraction bars. The E stands for exponents. That hasn't changed. The MD stands for multiplication division. You'll notice that I'm writing them side by side because they're equally important. You have to do whatever one comes first. And the AS stands for adding, subtracting. Likewise, or side by side, whatever one comes first. I also have on the side, which we'll be dealing with when we talk about multi-step equations, is that the first thing I need you to do is clean, which means you go down PEMDAS. Now, how do you know if you need to clean? If you see more than 2 items on one or the other side of the parentheses. So more than 2 items, they're what we call terms. If you see 2 or more terms on one side of the equation, you have to go down PEMDAS and you need to clean. And once you're done cleaning, you could go the opposite way and you can solve. So we're going to get rid of add, subtract first. I call these good friends. And multiply and divide second. I call these best friends. They're super, super close, and you'll see what I'm talking about in a moment. So we're going to go ahead and do an example problem. Example 1. Knowing that our goal has not changed, we need to get the letter by itself. I'm going to have 2x minus 4 equals 10. So I'm going to create my line in order to keep my work organized. My goal is to get this letter x by itself, which I cannot do yet because I have a 2 in front and a minus 4 on the same side of that equal bar. Every single time I want to cross this equal sign, I have to do an opposite operation because I'm going to the opposite side of the line. So the first thing I'm going to ask myself is, do I get rid of the 2 first or the 4? Now the 2 is attached by a times. And because we're going up PEMDAS, I need to ask myself, do I have any add or subtract attached to my x? And yes, I have a minus 4 attached to my x. So I have to get rid of that first. I call this my good friend because you can see that there's this little symbol that's separating my 4 from my x, whereas the 2 is super, super close to the x. Look at how close they are. That's my best friend. That's my bestie. My good friend's going to go home first. I'm going to have my best friend hang out a little longer. The opposite of a minus 4 is a plus 4. What that leaves me with is a nothing here, but I still have the 2x on this side. 2x, and these are same signs, so I'm going to add them and keep the sign, which is a positive. Now my best friend hanging out a little longer. Now it's time for my best friend to go home. We're going to get rid of this times 2. The opposite of a times 2 is a divide 2. I'm showing my work on both sides. I'm not just doing it on one side and assuming that it's the same thing on the other. Show your work. So here is my solution. X is 7. I definitely suggest that you do a quick check. If x is 7, I'm going to get rid of this x here using parentheses, plug it in. I would like it to equal a 10 in order to be correct. So let's see if it works. 2 times 7 minus 4. Is the left side equal to the right side? Yes, it is, so that you know you did your work correctly. All right, so let's do example 2. So I'm going to ask myself, do I have any plus minus attached to my letter? And the answer is yes, but it's not a -4. Please be careful. This 4 is touching the m. They're best friends. That's a times -4, times -4. All right? So what is happening out here is this is a +8. I actually have to get rid of this. Look how close they are. They're best friends. This 8 is so far away, that's only a good friend. My best friend, the people I want to stay a little bit longer, are really, really close to me. So the opposite of a +8 is a -8. I get a -4m equals, use a calculator if you need to, 24. I need to get rid of this times -4. My next step is to get rid of multiply, divide. Divide -4. This leaves me with an m equals -6. Watch that sign. A +6 is not the same thing as a -6. That's like losing $6 and someone giving you $6. Not the same concept. So let's go ahead and check our work. I'm going to do an 8. I'm rewriting the problem, which is the first line. I'm going to get rid of the letter, and I'm going to plug in the number that I think it should be. I'm hoping that it's a 32. If it's a 32, I'm right. If it's not a 32, I made a goofy mistake somewhere, which we do. It's not a big deal. So I have a -4 times -6. That's a positive 24. I'm hoping that it's a 32. Let's check. Don't assume. 24 plus 8 is a 32. Yep, we did that step correctly. All right, let's do one more. Let's do a divide. We haven't done that yet. Example 3. I'm going to say a over 5. A over 5 plus 20 equals 30. All right, so I have a best friend, the one that's really close to me, right there. That's my best friend. Look at how close we are. I have a good friend. I'm going to ask my good friend to go home first. So that way my best friend and I can talk about important things. You know how that is. You're going to talk about important things after your good friend leaves. So I'm going to get rid of this plus 20 because I have to get rid of my plus minus first. So the opposite of a plus 20 is a minus 20. Be careful with this computation here. Same signs. See, these are the same signs. I'm going to add them and keep the sign. This disappeared, which is good. That's what I wanted to do. I'm left with an a over 5. Now be careful. The answer is not -10 because I'm not going to get rid of this 5 by dividing 5. It's already a divide 5. You can't get rid of something by doing the same exact thing. I have to do an opposite operation. So the opposite of a divide 5, that's what this is, divide bar 5, is times 5. The opposite of a divide 5 is times 5. So this 5 cancels out. You're left with 50 times 5 is -25. And don't forget the 0, -250. Box in your answer so that it makes it easy to find. Watch your signs. And then obviously do a check. The A, I just found out, was -250. So let's get rid of the A, plug in at -250. I still have a divide 5. I still have a plus 20. And I'm hoping that it comes out to be a -30. That's my goal, right? So let's see if it works. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Don't forget the 0, 50. And the sign. Don't forget the sign. Let's see. Just drop this down. Don't do any work over here. Just drop that number down. So does it work? I get a -30 on the left side. -30 on the right side. Yep, you are set to go. So when you're solving your two-step equations, remember that you always want to get rid of your add and subtract first. I call them my good friends. They're a little bit further away from my letter, and then I'm going to get rid of my multiply divide second because they're my best friends. They're going to hang out a little longer so we can chat it up and talk about the real important things.